Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a very different kind of video on my channel. It's going to be a serious video, one that I'm not really sure what visuals I should show. There's a thing in broadcast. It's kind of a phrase that all video production students learn at my university and I'm sure many others. It's called see dog, say dog. It's where when you hear about something, you need to see the visual equivalent. If I'm talking about OG Daredevil and I'm showing Hercules, you're thinking, why are you showing me Hercules when you're saying OG Daredevil? The sound's got to match the visual, and I don't know what to show visually to make this video more exciting. I think I'll probably scroll down to the bottom and show, because it's easiest, the new 7 stars. We got Danny Moonstar now as a 7-star in the game. We've got Lady Deathstrike as a 7-star in the game. Now, we knew about them before Kabam contacted us directly on the forums and in the in-game messages, because there are now very famous, proud leakers on social media, behind the scenes of the community, that leak information. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this. We saw this going all the way back to Truex? Really good guy. I messaged him a few times, and he was awesome. I don't know if he does that anymore. I think he talked about walking away from the game, actually. But those of you who know about Truex, you know what I'm talking about. And it doesn't seem like Kabam said anything publicly about that being an issue. So they're probably annoyed by it. But if you're leaking things to hype up the rewards of an event, especially a big whale event like July 4th or Cyber Weekend, then I think it does actually do an advantage to Kabam and their bottom line to get people more excited earlier. The same is true for new champions, even some people that we've asked for years now that are now finally in the game, like, say, Scorpion or Shocker or Sandman. And these are just villains I knew from the Spider-Man universe through largely the 1990s cartoon show and comics and others that are now in the game that people have been talking to my channel about for years. But needless to say, leaking is a big deal to the people who data mine the files. Now, I don't know how they do it. Some people have told me it's pretty easy to do, but I don't want to know. I want to be ignorant, because it's just something that it's either going to be there or it's not. The information's going to get out eventually. But now that Kabam is doing their live streams, sometimes multiple live streams a month, they want those live streams to have the hype and the excitement that these leakers are getting. And they also know, most importantly, that if the leakers have already leaked the information, then we already know what is going to be happening on the live stream. Now, they can show us animations of the champions. They can show us even champion designs. But they can't tell us the champions for the first time, because we already know. And that's got to be frustrating and annoying. If I was at Kabam, that would be a nightmare. And so we've had them say in previous live streams before today, really before this weekend, please stop. Please stop. Well, you can ask someone to please stop. There was a new apartment complex that came out right by the church I go to, and there was all this elderly parking for people, because the average age of the people who go to my church is like 76. Handicap parking, regular parking that people in the church need to get in. Well, wouldn't you know it, the students didn't want to park in the parking garage, and so they would take these elderly parking spots. And they would not allow the people who are very health risked, even before the pandemic, to park at the church, because they would just leave their cars. And it was a public street, so we couldn't do anything about it as a church community. We would leave notes asking them to please not do that, and they would read them and throw them away, or hopefully at least recycle them, and they would still park there. And so we actually had to come up with a plan, go through the city council, and at least make those 2-hour parking spots during the week, but that's not applicable during the weekend, and that also doesn't prevent people from still leaving their cars there. So we tried, it improved, but it still didn't stop the behavior. You might think that's a weird analogy, but I actually think it works here, because Kabam is now going to try to stop the leakers by doing everything they can legally to go after them. Now, is it legal if somebody leaks the information, they find out what the game ID of the leaker is, like let's say they're Prof, Hoff, right? And they go by something else, in the game. I'm not a leaker. This is all just hypothetical. Don't come after me. But let's say it's my name, and I go by something weird on Twitter. Let's say I go by, like, I don't know, Kabam Leaker. And they find out that Kabam Leaker 1 is Prof Hoff in the game, and I log in one day, and they say, your account's been suspended permanently for breaking the terms of service. Well, is there anything on the books right now that breaks the terms of service of Kabam because you leak their information early? I haven't seen it. Maybe it exists, but I haven't seen it. But is it legal for Kabam to even add that clause and then punish people who are doing things outside of the game, inside the game? I don't know. That'd be an interesting poll question. Maybe I should make that in one of my future live streams. But they're now threatening leakers. They're going to come after them with their, I forget what Kabam Jacks, how they phrased it. I don't know. It wasn't like a shark crew, but it was a tiger crew. It was some kind of crew. But I don't know what that means. I'm as in the dark about that as anyone else. But I know it's a historic step up from what they've said publicly, which was before just please stop. And of course, like the parking analogy, they'll say, yeah, I probably could, but I'm not going to. Because it does them an advantage. And I would be a hypocrite to say that I don't value leaked information because I have made so many videos about the information. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but no matter what, it's thought-provoking. And so have I financially benefited from that information? Of course. But also, the information is going to come out eventually. Now, maybe it won't make as many clicks or views or whatever if Kabam does it, but it'll still be worth talking about. It'll still be worth a video. So I don't know. It's a really touchy subject that I'm sure people are adamantly on both sides of the fence on, and I just want to see what people think about it. So, as always, I appreciate your support of my channel. Happy weekend, or whatever day you clicked on this video. I appreciate that you did. As always, about 60 to 65% of people this year aren't subscribed to my channel, and yet they still click on videos and watch, and I appreciate that.